So the role of the mother in the Quran cannot be undermined. The role of the mother that she plays, even from the language perspective, is something really remarkable. So Allah gave us some serious advice in regards to both of our parents, and I'm adding in parentheses an advice for which you are individually and personally responsible. You will be held responsible for how you dealt with both of your parents. The word used for both parents in the ayah is walidayhi. Walidayhi. The singular of it is walid. Walid. It comes from the word walada. Walada means to father. Walidayhi, the two who gave him birth. In other words, the father and the mother are the responsible parties for your physical birth. So biological parents, let's put this in easy English now, biological parents are called walidain. The biological mother, the term for that is not the term for that is walida. So there's a difference between walida and what? There's also a difference between ab and walid. So let me start with ab and walid to get you the point. Your biological father is your walid. But he does not get the title of ab in literature until he did something more than just be responsible for your mom's pregnancy. He has to have done more for you in life. Maybe he taught you how to ride a bike. He provided for you. He provided for your education. He took care of you. He financed the house. He taught you how to pray. He contributed to you in some way beyond just being your biological father. A contributing father actually goes from walid and becomes what? Ab. Because a walid is simply the biological father. It has nothing to do with anything else. It has nothing to do with a relationship, meaning you don't necessarily have a relationship with your walid, but if you have a relationship, it is with your ab, because in a relationship, someone's contributing. Now let's go to the alternative terms. There's walida and Who's a walida? Someone who gave you birth. Your physical birth mother is your walida. Now sometimes it happens that a mother gives birth, I'm not talking in the shari'i sense, I'm talking in the literary sense now. In the literature sense, in the Arabic linguistic sense. A woman gives a child birth, and this child is then left in the care of someone else. So the mother passed away or something, and he's raised by someone else. His walida will always be his walida. But some others can take the role of Some others can take the role of But there's an inherent problem here. Every walid is not necessarily a what? An ab. No, not every walid is an ab. But every walida is an I'll repeat myself. You could say not every dad is a good dad. But every walida is an I'll tell you why. The ayah will explain why. Allah says He gave human beings the advice to be good to who? Both parents. Walidayhi muthanna, to both parents. His mother carried him, a load on top of another load. First trimester, second trimester, third trimester. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Load after load after load. Is she contributing already? In other words, my mother is contributing towards me even before I'm born. She's taking on pain for me even before I'm not even capable of saying thank you yet. All I can do for her is cause her more pain. As every day of the pregnancy continues, I am a source of more pain for her, not more joy. And she's sitting there reciting Quran, patting her stomach, taking care of me, and I thank her by kicking her from within or stretching between her ribcage. And it's incredible. She's already a contributor. She's always an Not every walid is an ab, but every mother is an Now the first word used in the ayah was walidayhi. Remember that? Biological parents. But then Allah says hamalathu. He didn't say hamalathu walidatuhu. He said hamalathu ummuhu wahnan ala wahn wa fisaluhu fi amain. If you stick to the language of the first part of the ayah, then you would say here walidatuhu, because walidain are mentioned, and the singular of walidain is walid and walida. He didn't do that. He brought up, his source, his essence, the one who takes care of him, the one who corrects him. Bring up all of the meanings of that we just talked about. She's the one that's doing this from the beginning. وَفِصَالُهُ فِي عَامَيْنِ. And within the course of 2 years, she's feeding him. And then at the end, Allah says, أَنِشْكُرْ لِي, and be grateful to me. Wa. What does wa mean in Arabic? Wa means a number of things. It means and it also means i.e. Now what does i.e. mean? That is to say, Anishkur li wali walidayka has two meanings. Be grateful to me and both your parents. Also means be grateful to me. That is to say, be grateful to both of your parents. How will you show gratitude to me? By showing gratitude to both of your parents. One of the ways of showing gratitude to Allah is actually showing gratitude to our parents. Being grateful to our parents. Now that's an interesting ayah because Allah Azza wa Jal talked about being good to which parent? One or both of them? Both of them. But when it came to the contributions, whose contributions did Allah mention? He only mentioned the mother's contribution. There is no Rabbahu, Abuhu, Wahnan ala wahn. No, there's nothing about the father. There's only a discussion about the mother. Why is that? Why did Allah only talk about the contribution of the mother and no mention of the contribution of the father? And I won't share all of them with you, but one of them. What does your dad do for you? Can you tell me? Has he paid for your education? Has he provided for the household? Got the groceries? Take you on road trips? Food? Sometimes correction? Maybe help with homework once in a while? So you can remember what your dad did for you. Now think of what your mom does for you. Don't tell me about the ayah. What does your mom do for you? She gives you a hug, everything else. She does a lot for you. But you know what? The real work she did for you, the work she did for you that almost killed her, happened before you were even out of her womb and happened while you were still a baby suckling, which means it happened when you can't remember. Her most difficult time with you was you can't remember. What your dad did for you, most of what he did for you happened when you became at least someone who can remember things. As you reach the age where you can remember things, you can actually tell the contributions of your father. But your dad's contribution, she makes me breakfast, she gives me a hug, she's always there for me, she tells me she loves me, etc., etc. Yes, that's all awesome, but nothing compared to what she did when she was carrying you and giving you birth. And do you and I remember this or no? We don't remember this. So Allah chose in the ayah to remind us what we could not have remembered ourselves. The contribution that was impossible for you and I to recall. Allah put that there for us. Because He wants us to be conscious of the fact that, when you deal with your father, it's easy to remember his favors, but the real favor of your mother is impossible for any of us to remember, to visualize. We can't do it. So Allah made it a point to remind. By the way, He goes back to both parents at the end. Anishkur li wali walidika. Be grateful to me and both your biological parents. In other words, your mother, your contribution to your mother is special. He put it in between both times. He mentioned parents both times and mentioned mother in the middle. Now the last thing I want to mention to you is just one thing about Musa alayhi salam. In Surah Taha, Musa alayhi salam got to meet with Allah. Musa alayhi salam is on top of a mountain being reminded of the favors Allah did to him. And of the favors Allah did to him is that He protected his mother from sadness, his mother from crying. And Allah put this together in a way that just like Allah did a favor to Musa alayhi salam by rescuing him from drowning, similarly part of the rescue of Musa alayhi salam was the joy of his mother, the happiness of his mother. In other words, the joy of our mother is not just a gift of Allah to them. The joy of our mothers, the happiness of our mothers, is the gift of Allah to us. When our mothers are happy, you will find a good life. Find a way to make your mom happy. You will have a good life. Things will work out. Money will work out. Family will work out. Other problems will work out if mom is happy. Just figure out a way to make mom happy. I know that's a mission impossible for some of you. Some moms are very difficult. So my advice to moms also is be happy. Because when you're happy, your kids will have a wonderful life.